Good day, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful new year. So what I've done is I've pre-set up my nuclear setup in a way. I have a train line bringing in bottled water or packaged water that we will unpackage here and send the empty bottles back to be recycled. I have drones going out and collecting things I need. So I have this red one here that's collecting turbo fuel so that all my other drones have turbo fuel. The purple one is crystal, yellow one is sulfur. That one, if you look at my cursor, that one is aluminum casings, and that one, which is not turned on yet, is uranium. This building back behind there, that's where we're processing all of our ingots. Well, except for deuterium. So, well, deuterium is being processed there, being turned into quick wire. But let's actually go look at it. The amount of quick wire that I was needing, while it's high, I'm using an alternate recipe, so I only need to produce 15 quick wire a minute. So I just went ahead and set up the quick wire right here. So that's clocked at 45 per minute. That's producing 15 per minute. 15 comes up, goes into here. I have the alternate recipe that uses mostly copper with a little bit of deuterium. I'm processing my steel and turning it directly into pipes right here. And then the other stuff, you know, my coal, I have coal coming out there after it gets pulled into being used for the steel. So it comes out and goes here. The remaining coal will be turned into diamonds and then time crystals. To be made into dark matter crystals. The iron, most of that iron is going to end up being turned into Ficsonium, and the copper here, or the extra copper that's coming out right here, it's going to be turned into copper sheets, copper powder, so on and so forth. Wire, cable, that's all going to happen over there. My plan is all the radiation stuff will happen over here. So that's where my power plants are going to be. The processing of stuff that doesn't need to have uranium or nuclear waste, for the most part, will happen over here. There's some things that I'm just going to keep over here because all of that bottled water we're going to bring up. I'm going to bring over here so that it's over by the power plants, because that's where it's going to be needed. No, I didn't realize it. You can actually see there's my bottled water setup. So I got one water extractor per 2. My brain's having a fart. 2 packagers. And I have 28 of those overclocked. It shows that there's a hard drive there. I've collected that hard drive. It's just a glitch, or a bug, I should say. Alright, like I said, so I've done my plan in 2 different areas. So I have here in the modeler, the Satisfactory modeler. You can get that on Steam for free. The reason why I did that was so I could calculate how much water I would need for my power plants. So I have 2 here that needs 320. I have 2 here, actually 3 there, that need 640 water. And then I have the 3 here, and again that needs 720 water. And then this is to a degree simpler to see where things are. But I also have basically the same build in the Satisfactory tools. So basically, the production, I'm saying, hey, I'm going to make this, this, and this. And then, of course, it has the visualization, which is always a giant mess. I don't know why it tells me that I need more uranium waste, but it'll work out. So I'm using this one more to look at where things are going. Like, oh hey, I've got Caterium ore. Well, the Caterium ore is going to go into Caterium ingots and so on and so forth. And some of this stuff I can actually go in and eliminate by saying items, inputs, and saying, hey, I'm making my... if I could type quick wire, and I'm making 170. Because I've already set up my quick wire. I actually don't need the aluminum, so I had the Alclad sheets. I had at one time had one set up, and then this was using in the Satisfactory tools. So what I did was this morning I started over and I said, hey, I'm going to make a I'm going to make the Ficsonium fuel cells. So I started there, said okay, and then just took it back and said, okay, from there I make this. From there I go and I need to get this. From there I need to go get this. You know, that's why this one's not filled up, because I basically just needed to get to here and then to see how much water I would be using. And then of course I filled out a little bit more just to make sure, and then I went in on this one, made sure I had the same recipes, unselected the alternate, or not the alternate, but you know. So for example, I'm using, so I didn't want to use the encased uranium cell, I wanted to use the infused uranium cells. So I made sure I wouldn't be able to use this one, made sure I would use this one, made sure I had this one selected, not this one, and so on and so forth, just to make sure things were easier for me down the road. So, that being said, let's place some buildings. I'm going to save you from having to watch me do the whole build, but I am going to have you guys watch me place some of them. Alright, so power plant. These things are massive. Um... Actually, let's... I gotta do 9 of these. So let's do it this way. Let's get myself 1 foundation to walk around. And I'll come in and put another foundation back behind it. And I'm already having to run. More foundations. So that takes care of the uranium ones. He probably is going to fly through some of my buildings. Alright. Had the foundations placed, and then I realized how big these were, so I moved the foundations up so I wouldn't be going or clipping into those miners. Okay. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's half of them. 5, 6. So for today, I want to get the uranium done, and then we'll worry about plutonium and ficsonium later. So we'll do these 3 this way, and then maybe I'll expand this out and do the Ficsonium 2 on the other side. Okay. So what I gotta have here, I'm just gonna go ahead and try and figure out my belt work here. Is I'm going to have one coming in here, one going into there, one coming into here. Yeah, my pipe should be okay to come in, come down. All right. So here I'm thinking we'll do walls. So that means I've got to have a conveyor wall hole there. Okay. Production manufacturer. I want to give myself a little bit of walkway room to get around the machine. Okay. And I believe this is the alternate. Like I said, I want to make sure I gave myself plenty of room, and I didn't. This will be using the alternate in case uranium fuel cells. Again, so I have walkway. That is 1-to-1. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and actually bring this up. And we'll do this first one. Okay, how much is this producing a minute? 20 per minute? How much is this needing? 20 per minute. Okay. Over in this building, just break in this way. So from these drone ports, I have a loop for the nitrogen, not nitric, the nitrogen gas. It's coming in, filling up this tank here. I need to split it because some of it needs to go over into this facility for the nitric acid. I'm going to be producing my sulfuric acid and my nitric acid in this facility just for the convenience of water. And I also have to have some of it split off to go into making the third tier of the fuse frames. What is that? The fused the fused modular frame. There we go. Okay. So this here is the uranium. This here is the sulfur. No, that's aluminum, or that's the casings. There's the sulfur, and that's the crystal. Okay. That'll run straight across there. Sulfur, we're gonna need... Nope, all of it's going over here. So we'll do something similar there. Of course, that's too long. Let's actually bring it over. I gotta figure out what's going on with that casings. Now bring it to here. And that should line it up straight even. Yep. So I think I'll do it that way. Uranium goes there. Sulfur goes there. The reason why I left a gap is because I'm contemplating bringing the silica, some of the silica from in here, processing what I need silica-wise actually right down here. I have the room, I could process my silica and my crystals that I need to make, or yeah, here, and then shoot them to wherever I need to have them go. Okay. So uranium, silica, sulfur, and quick wire. Already producing some quick wire out of this building, so I could split some off and bring it over. The big issue I have is that this building is not, it's slightly a couple meters below the same plane as this building and that building, but we'll make it work. And actually looking at these, they need to go up slightly. What do I need for this? Control rods, crystal oscillators, and rotors. Okay. Those will be coming from over in that facility. Okay. Actually, I can just do it this way. Okay. We will handle this waste a different way. We'll bring it up. Down underneath and bring it up. Now what I want to do here, which will be a huge waste of space, is set up my blender and my refinery for my for the sulfuric and nitrogen acid. I'm turning these off temporarily, just so that when I start making or producing what I need to produce, they don't kick on automatically. Actually, it'll be fine. Let's do the giant rolling wall door here. So these need 240 per minute. So I'm just thinking about how I want to do the water. Because I need 14. I want them slightly overclocked. Packagers. So what I'm kind of leaning towards doing, well, not kind of, throwing an industrial fluid buffer. Just actually need to figure out where I need to put this so it lines up. So this one, and this one will get 2 packagers unpackaging water per. Because they need 240 to 240. So okay, because this is water, I'm just gonna go ahead and paint it the way I normally paint my water stuff. Actually, I don't like that. Okay, same thing with this one. Alright, unpackagers. I think that's how I... Nope, it needs to be down 1. Okay. So from here, we want horizontal to vertical. That's slight. No. I want that one. Okay. Same thing here. Alright, now it's time to figure out water. This is just temporary. Actually, no. Let's not do it that way. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll just run these over the top. Okay. it's time for the output. That's why I didn't do it that way. Okay. This one we can still do it that way. You know what, I'm just going to run this like I'm doing the other one. it like that. Okay. So we got the water taken care of. We just still need to figure out quick wire. How much is there? These are making 35. How much quick wire do I need? 75. Ugh. As you can tell, I don't got a problem with floating belts or floating foundations. I actually think the floating belts look really cool. Okay. I believe it was at that level. Let's double check. Nope. It was... at that level. Okay. Again, this is just temporary, just so I can figure out what the level is and run belts. much are these making? $84? Okay. I still need a smurger. I need a splitter. Best to split on that one. So I have the Mark II, kicking it out there. I am just double checking to make sure I don't have anything else that needs to come from. I do. Actually, no, I don't. The Trigon Fix-Its. Or not, those will come. Iron goes over to the other building. So we'll need control rods brought over. Those. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. Alright. So basically, we've got this machine almost taken care of. I still need to do my crystal and then start building the machines to build my electric magnetic control rods, my crystal oscillators, and my rotors. You've seen me do that a bunch of times. I'm going to pause the recording and bring you back once I've got those set up and I'm ready to start running power to this stuff right here. So I will see you in a moment. Alright, we're back. So I've done a little bit more than what I needed to do. Just because I was looking at, oh, I'm making copper sheets. Oh, I also need to make circuit boards for computers. So basically, we're pretty much ready. So I decided to do a ugly bus system. So I got my concrete going across the bottom. Nothing's using concrete currently in here. Then I have my iron pulling off for my plates. The rest of that iron will become Trigon Man, I'm losing my can't remember anything. Fix-It Trigons. So, and I've got everything wired up. Oops. over here on this side. All we need to do is connect power here. And the machines are running. It's going to take a little bit of time to get stuff completely flowing. So we got our rotors. This one is, oh, that's reinforced iron plate. That's going to there. We got our electromagnetic control rods. They're being produced here. And our crystal oscillators. As soon as we get some reinforced iron plate. Let me double check something here. Oh, I'm gonna need to break some off. Okay, that's fine. I'll worry about that later. I'm gonna make 5.133. There we go. We're starting to get our plate. There we go. So some of this plate is going to actually, whatever's not used for the reinforced iron plates, that's going to go over and be turned into nitric acid. I got to shoot some concrete over that way too. So my output for these are going to come up here. They're going to come up here. This whole section up here will be for the next phase where we build what we need for the rest of it. I say the rest of it, but you know, for the other two fuel cells. So I have these coming up. I may run a fourth input along here. I'm going to go ahead and leave this concrete and these walls up temporarily. I might use them to help me get the next set of items over. So, what I need to do now is I want to, well, let's wait till this belt starts backing up. I'm going to pause the recording and bring you back once I've seen some progress with the... Oh, there's the two of our first two control rods. So once I see more control rods being manufactured and seeing some of the crystal oscillators go through. Be back in a sec. Alright, we're back. One thing I just barely noticed was I didn't hook these up to there. Let's go ahead and do that. is backed up. Sorry, I was just double checking to make sure my mic wasn't muted. Sometimes I mute my mic when I'm paused. Alright, so that drone is flying. Well, he's at that port right there, so he's picking it up and he'll be coming back in a second. As we can see, I've got empty packages going back in. Package water coming through. It's probably not the best place for that door, since you have to come in, and maybe I'll need to put in a catwalk to get up and over right there or something. We got water flowing. Water's backing up, which is what I want to see. Now these belts are set up to handle 7 packagers unpacking. Alright, that drone should be coming back in a second. Nope, he's still over there. There he comes. There he is, right there. I can tell he has uranium because I'm getting radiated. Second, we should start seeing that uranium come through. And there it is. Comes that uranium. We're getting sufficiently backed up here. should start seeing some of these being... Oh, yep, it's already starting to manufacture. There they kick out. So that's going to take a bit of time to run. Alright, alien technology. We have everything we need back at the hub. And for the sulfur, we just need to get 10 of those. Yeah, encased uranium cells, where, hey, we're starting to produce those. Do I have everything else? Yes, I do. It's back at the hub, so at the beginning of the next episode, we will finish doing our MAM research before we finish doing the plutonium side of the build. Which shouldn't be too bad. So I'm just waiting for this to get enough built up so it can produce us our first fuel cell. That's going to make 3 of them at a time. 1, 2, and 3. These are full on water, which is awesome. How is this? They're practically full. That's great. Just to speed things up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause recording and bring you guys back when it's almost ready. Alright, it's almost done. There we go. There's our first 3 uranium fuel cells, or fuel rods. Uranium fuel rod. Yep. And there they go. Now these are turned off, so they're not going to kick on. I don't want to get any nuclear waste just quite yet, or uranium waste. So probably what I will do is actually grab these cells and sink them. In fact, let's set that up right now. Oh, we've already gotten over 1,000 coupons. Only 900 more to go. One of my plans is to... I have a bunch of enemy alien remains that I've just sat on. So I will be setting up a... trying to think of what it's called. An alien DNA factory, and sumer slooping it. So I'll set up, 3 constructors, sumer slooped for the hog, the hatcher, and the spitter, and then probably 1 to take the DNA capsules, and then we'll sink those. Maybe I'll set that up in the next episode, maybe not. Oh. If I still haven't bothered to change out of my the Santa hat and the red that I picked for the Fixmas episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Happy New Year. And we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.